Archaeologists found a clay tablet. It is 4,000 years old, and it describes a second moon in the sky. Not a star, not a planet, a second moon orbiting the Earth. It had its own light. It moved across the sky every night. The Sumerians watched it, and they wrote everything down. Then one night, it was gone. No warning, no explosion, just gone. In this video, we are going to look at what the tablet actually says. We are going to look at what science tells us is possible. And we are going to ask the question nobody wants to ask. Was there really a second moon? And what happened the night it disappeared? Scientists today still cannot explain where it went. And most people have never heard about this tablet, ever. Here is what we are going to cover today. First, what does the Sumerian tablet actually say? Not a guess, not a rumor, the real words. Second, is it even possible for Earth to have two moons? We are going to look at what real scientists say. And third, what are the best theories for where it went? Some come from universities. Some come from the edge of what we know. And one of them is quietly terrifying. Stay with me. Imagine you are a sky watcher. Every single night, you walk outside, look up, and write down exactly what you see. You do this for years, for decades. Your children do it after you. Their children do it after them. Generation after generation, staring at the same sky, recording the same stars, the same moon, the same patterns, until one night, something is different. Something extra is there. Something that moves slowly across the sky. Something that glows with a soft, reflected light. Something that looks almost like the moon. But it is not the moon. And the strangest part is this. When you check the old records, the ones your grandfather wrote, and his grandfather before him, it is already there, written down, observed, noted calmly, without panic, without alarm, as if it were perfectly normal, as if it had always been part of the sky. This is not a story someone made up. This is not science fiction. This is what a small group of serious researchers believe they have found hidden inside ancient Sumerian clay tablets. Tablets that are thousands of years old, sitting right now in museums, waiting for someone to ask the right questions. And if those researchers are right, if what they have read in those ancient records is really what it appears to be, then everything we think we know about our solar system, about our own sky, about the history of the Earth itself, needs a second look. The Sumerians were not primitive people. They built great cities. They invented one of the world's first writing systems. They created astronomical calendars, so detailed and so precise that modern scientists still use their data today to verify ancient eclipse dates. These were careful, methodical observers of the sky, people who took the heavens seriously, who believed that what happened above them had direct meaning for what happened below. Their sky watchers, known as the Tapsa Entma Onu Enlil, recorded eclipses, planetary movements, the rising and setting of Venus, the phases of the moon, all of it written down in cuneiform, script pressed into soft clay. And at the center of this mystery sits one particular collection of tablets called the Anu Enlil, roughly 70 tablets in total, the most important astronomical record to survive from the ancient world. Most of it is ordinary: Venus rising, Jupiter's position, lunar cycles, but buried inside, in passages that have puzzled researchers for decades, there are descriptions of a second, glowing body in the night, sky, something that moved, something that had phases just like our moon, something bright enough to be recorded right beside it, routinely, calmly, as simply as you would note the weather. The Sumerian word used in some translations is written as the companion, a second body, moving through the same region of sky as the moon, observed not with terror, but with the quiet familiarity of something expected. Now, to be honest with you, the translation of these tablets is genuinely debated. Some scholars say the companion is simply a poetic name for Venus, which can look strikingly bright near the horizon on certain nights, bright enough to cast a faint shadow, bright enough to be mistaken for something more. That is a reasonable explanation. But here is where the story becomes harder to explain away. Some researchers, working independently in different countries, across different decades, looked very carefully at the specific details of how this object was described. Its speed of movement across the sky was wrong for Venus, too fast in some passages, inconsistent in others. Its position relative to the moon did not match Jupiter. It did not match Mars. It did not match any known planet in our solar system. And here is the detail that truly separates it from a comet. Comets terrified ancient people. When a comet appeared, sky watchers wrote about it with alarm, with elaborate description, with the weight of something ominous. But this object, this companion, was written about the way you would write about the moon itself. Matter of fact, expected, routine, as if every person alive at that time simply knew. It was there, the way we know the sun rises in the east. That detail is the one that keeps serious researchers up at night. Because if the Sumerians were recording this object routinely, without surprise or fear, it means they had grown completely used to seeing it, which means it had been there long enough for entire generations to accept it as a normal part of the sky, which raises a question almost too large to sit with comfortably. What if there really was something there, something orbiting close enough to show phases, something reflecting enough sunlight to be clearly visible? Something that, for reasons we do not yet understand, is simply no longer there today. The Sumerian records are not the only clue. Ancient cultures across the world, separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years with no known contact between them, describe the same thing: a second light in the sky, a companion to the moon, a body that once was visible and then, at some point in the deep past, was not. In the next part of this series, we look at what modern science actually says about this possibility, whether a second moon around Earth is even physically possible, how long it could have survived, and one theory supported by serious planetary scientists. That might explain exactly where it went and what happened to it. Because if the Sumerians really did see something up there, something real, something that moved and glowed and kept them company in the ancient night sky, then something made it disappear, and that something left a mark. Not just strange in a way that crosses cultures, crosses continents, crosses thousands of years. Because this isn't only about what the tablets say, it's about what else changed around the same time. Babylonian myths, Egyptian myths, Greek, Norse, Mesoamerican, all of them describe a sky that looked different. Multiple celestial bodies, a night that was brighter, something taken from the heavens. The Greek myth of Phaethon describes a second sun-like object driving out of control across the sky. Some researchers believe this isn't just a story, it's a memory. The Norse myth of Moli contains passages referencing a companion that was stolen away. And in Mesoamerican cosmology, both Aztec and Maya, multiple suns, multiple cosmic eras, each one ending in catastrophe. Are these connected? Are they all memories of the same event? Let's put the theories on the table. Theory 1, it's a translation problem. The texts have been misread. Ancient astronomical language was metaphorical. What looked like a second lunar body was probably Venus, or a bright meteor, or a symbol never meant to be taken literally. But the orbital characteristics described don't match any known planet. So we move on. Theory 2, a mini-moon. At some point in the last 10,000 years, Earth temporarily captured a large rocky body into orbit. Sumerian astronomers saw it, recorded it, and then its orbit destabilized. If it left cleanly, there would be no crater, no geological signature. It would have simply gone. And the only record of its existence would be in the sky-watching logs of the most meticulous astronomical civilization on Earth at the time, which, as it happens, is exactly what we find. Theory 3, a remnant of the early solar system. What if Earth once had 2 moons, and the smaller companion didn't die billions of years ago? What if it survived, slowly drifting, slowly degrading, until within the time frame of human civilization, it finally fell? The far side of the moon has an unusual concentration of thorium and uranium near the surface, distributed in ways standard models struggle to explain. Some researchers believe that's a fingerprint of something, folded into the far side crust from the outside. That is a real observation. Theory 4. If a second moon was present in our sky, and its departure was sudden, tidal disruption, atmospheric chaos, shifting ocean currents, rewriting the rhythm of the natural world. Every civilization had built their lives around. Every culture would have interpreted that as one thing, the end. And so the question beneath all of this is this: is the worldwide story of catastrophe, the flood, the fire from the sky, the darkness that lasted for days, not separate events, but a single memory, passed down through every culture that looked up at the sky that night, the night the second moon disappeared? Here's what I want you to take away from this. We have a written record from one of humanity's most precise astronomical civilizations, describing something in the sky that does not fit cleanly into our current model of Earth's orbital history. We have a physical mechanism, mini-moon capture, that is not only possible, but actively confirmed to be happening in our solar system today. We have geological evidence in the moon's own structure that points to a secondary body having shaped it at some point in deep time. And we have a global cultural record across civilizations that had no contact with each other, all describing a time when the sky changed, when something ... was lost. None of these things alone is proof of anything. Science doesn't work on individual data points, but when you put them side by side, in a row, they form a pattern that is very difficult to dismiss. The honest conclusion is this: we do not yet have the tools to definitively confirm or rule out that a second moon-like body was visible from Earth during the lifetime of Sumerian civilization. The tablets exist. The science is permissive. The cultural memory is global. And the question, the real question, is not whether the Sumerians were credible observers. They absolutely were. The question is, are we willing to take their records seriously enough to look? Because if we are, if we point the right instruments at the right regions of the solar system and ask the right questions, we might find that something was there once. Something that watched over a young civilization, lit their nights alongside the moon they knew, and then, on one quiet evening in the ancient world, left